welcome everybody from the On Hotel. Actually, it's the Memory at On Hotel in Phuket Town, Phuket. Old Phuket Town, Steve. This is Steve Ross with an E.
Old Steve Ross.
And Steve actually came here before they sort of gentrified, well, not only Old Phuket Town, but the On Hotel. Used to be a bit of a den of iniquity.
Yes, I am the Memory at the On Hotel. Yeah, I spent one night here in 1989, and it was the place you brought sex workers because it was dingy and drab, and nobody was ever going to see you coming or going, and it was dirt cheap, and the rooms were tiny and bug infested, and the idea that it might one day turn into something like this would have been unthinkable in 1989. So Steve's not the person you want to rely on for prognostication.
Do you know why it's famous?
No.
It was in the film The Beach.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, at the start of the movie when the gentleman who...
DiCaprio, was it?
No, well, he's meets this guy in the On Hotel, and they end up going to Maya
the
Bay.
Island. Yeah, and the plot of that whole thing, that people, that rural Thai men would kill a tourist who stumbled on a field of ganja. I don't know that was ever the case, but it's certainly not the case now. So that's kind of dated, I think.
Sort of didn't really enjoy the movie that much. It sort of didn't come to any amazing conclusion. I thought there's going to be a twist at the end. Yeah. He's going to wake up. It was all just a dream or something.
Yeah, there's no sympathetic characters in it. There's nobody to root for. Everybody's a schmuck in that movie, and you don't want to spend any more time in the company of these terrible people.
And then about 4 years ago, Leonardo Di Caprio returned to Phuket for a holiday. So of course it was a great opportunity for photographers to get a photo of Leonardo with his top off, showing off his dad bod, and comparing him to the 20 years before Leonardo DiCaprio with the hard
body.
Yeah, the hard body.
Yeah, well, they chase me around. You know, the paparazzi, every time I take off my shirt, they chase me around too. You know, I can't. It's eye candy.
Are you going to
All
do
right.
up that top?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Very distracting, Steve.
Sorry.
So we're in the foyer of the On Hotel. We're surrounded by, I think, mostly young Chinese tourists who are wanting to take selfies because this is a very pretty area. And you'll see as I'm speaking some cutaways of some of the area we're talking about and out the front of the On Hotel. If you are coming to Phuket Town, Old Phuket Town, I would warmly recommend dropping into this hotel. Indeed, you could stay here. I checked the prices while you were out there draining your bladder.
Well, I was trying to find a public restroom. Be warned, if you come here, there are no public restrooms in the On Hotel. If you want to pee here, you got to pay for a room. So this may be brief. This may be brief. I'm cramping.
So I checked a price later this month, later in September, for a night. How much?
3,000?
It was 1,600 baht.
Really?
So a bit of a special.
Wow.
I checked maybe a year or so ago for some people, and it was 3,200 baht. So they say we're at the depth of the low season, and there's no tourists coming here at the moment, but it looks to me like it's pretty busy.
Everybody comes in the lobby of the On and takes selfies and then turns around and leaves. I would echo that. I would say if you're visiting Phuket, spend an afternoon or a morning when it's cool downtown in the old town. They've really spiffed it up. There were some streets, Soi Romani and places that were pretty sketchy. Now it's all Disneyfied and it's touristy and there's things to buy and there's things to look at. And I think definitely, one morning, get off the beach, come into town.
It's sort of, if there was a hidden secret or a hidden gem in Phuket, it would be Old Phuket Town. I think a lot of people, they just go straight to Patong.
That should be the headline for this episode. Steve and Tim reveal the hidden secrets of Phuket.
Hardly a secret.
No. Nothing's a secret here anymore. Everything here has been on a brochure.
So we of course, have to talk about our ailments because people tune in to find out. And we're also going to talk about the guests coming in to give you a great business idea for your property along Turtle Beach. I'm just about to launch my 2 beach houses on Turtle Beach
This guy.
on Airbnb. Oh, we've got a fan. Hello.
Hello.
I think we're being filmed.
Well, that's all right.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's from from
a-
Interpol.
There's a link below to our channel.
So, I've had this problem with my sciatica. Probably sitting in this position is not doing it much good.
On hard wooden chairs, by the way.
So I gave up on Monday that, no, I've had enough of this. So I went off to the hospital, to the, I think I can mention them, Bangkok Hospital, Phuket. Nothing bad happened. Luckily, I ran into a pretty young, dynamic doctor who said, look, you probably don't want to do drugs. Let's try and do this the natural way. Yes. And I said, okay. He said, but look, I am going to give you some drugs for the next couple of days just to make you feel better.
What's this doctor's name?
Oh, I forget.
Oh. Jesus.
Just call him Roger.
Doesn't spare a thought to his old pal Steve when people are handing out free pain medications. Doesn't think
free?
of me.
It wasn't free.
Well, it would be free to me. But anyway.
So, like the last couple of days, I've felt very, very happy indeed.
I'll bet. Yeah. Better living through chemicals. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I want that on a bumper sticker.
So, thank you very much, Dr. Nadi or something. He was very helpful anyway. Nice young guy. And hopefully, we are going to... He's given me a whole lot of Mackenzie stretches. Somebody called Mackenzie said, you do this, and I'm going to name a stretch after it. One of them's called nerve flossing. How do you like that, nerve flossing?
Yeah.
The idea of a sort of the nerve moving through the joint backwards and forwards like flossing your teeth.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought maybe, you got a sesame seed caught in there. You got to get it out with some floss.
No, this is like down in my lower back. I'm flossing my nerves. But otherwise, there's a lot of stretching. These girls asked me a little, just before we started filming, whether they could sit here and take some photos for 15 minutes. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, that's just a bit inconvenient.
Yeah,
they're just hanging around, just making sure we get pissed off.
Well, we're photobombing them. They're all taking their photos, and we're going to be in the background. So more exposure. Awesome.
So there's some very nice little items around here. It's a lot of retro stuff, like we're talking from 60, 70 years ago stuff.
Oh, yeah. The great thing about old furniture is that furniture sat in a room and witnessed people raising their children, and then those children raising their children. Old pieces of furniture have borne witness.
Somebody would have listened to that gramophone. They would have listened to...
Oh, yeah. That old radio. They listened to the war news.
Yes.
In that old radio. Yeah. And, there's family history. Old houses, old furniture, old knickknacks, thingamabobs. There's history in all of that. And if you believe, as I do, that we can imbue an object with a bit of our spirit, like this thing that has been on my skin, over my heart for 15 years. And when I die, this will be taken out of the bezel and it will go on, be a coin, and go be spent and continue its journey. And hopefully a little piece of me will go with it. And every piece of old wood in this room has witnessed all kinds of drama.
Do you... The days that we sort of look at, this is like, early last century type Phuket, must have been a rollicking old town around here. It was a trading town, a lot of Chinese traders. A lot of the population around here are Thai Chinese and have the Peranakan culture, the Straits Chinese culture. Would have been a rollicking old place.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I suspect that you and I, more you than me, because you were here during the 80s, probably... maybe saw the best of Phuket. Maybe those days are behind us. It's becoming much more of an urban, as you said, sort of Disneyland.
Yeah, it's not rollicking anymore. It's all very controlled and planned, and there's very little organic left. These streets, you
obviously haven't been in Bangalore at 3 a.m. in the morning.
No.
That's still pretty organic, I think.
Saints preserve me. I don't want to be there. But the grid in this old town part, this is like a New York City grid of rectangular blocks. And then as you spread out from there, things grew organically. So little trails became roads, and those roads got paved and became big highways and stuff. So the map of Phuket becomes haphazard and chaotic once you move out of Old Town, and it can be very hard to find your way around. But there's a wonderful human quality in that. This road and the buildings on this road and the families that occupy these buildings, they came here organically. They came here by chance. They came here chasing a dream. This, much of Phuket now, people came here chasing a buck, chasing a dollar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I did that for a long time. But it's not as romantic. It's not as pleasant and human as something more chaotic.
Then again, I suppose there'll be the people who are arriving now for the first time saying, oh, wow, this is a great place. And then in 30 years, they're sitting in front of a camera going, oh, those good old days back in 2023.
Sure. The bars were full of old expats back in the 80s talking about the 60s and how this place is not the same as it was in the 60s. And you guys don't know what you're missing. And then I come here and I tell people, oh, you don't know what you're missing from the 80s. And I suppose whoever's here now in 10 years will be telling people, you missed it. You missed the good times. That guy on that motorcycle, he's going to be telling people how great it was in the 2020s on Phuket.
When there was unregulated traffic rules about noisy motorbikes.
Yeah, if you want to find something chaotic and organic, Steve, just look at the traffic on the roads.
Now, I'll be seeking, in a professional way, people to rent my little beach houses in the future. But you've got people who very kindly venture different business ideas when they come and visit you voluntarily.
They do, and they're sweethearts. I love everybody who comes to visit Boontongs on Turtle Beach. And we sit and we have a coffee, and probably I think on average, 2 people a week show up. Yeah, I know.
I'll be lucky if I get that.
Some of them are, they only, you want them to stay the night. They only come to have a coffee with Steve, and they bring me gifts, which is very much appreciated. Coffee and broccoli. See, I'm learning. Coffee and broccoli they bring me, or they buy a souvenir from Chamnan. They buy a cuttlefish spine or something, and they sit and we talk. But there's a theme. Some of them come, and they come to share with me an idea. And it is on the surface of it a great idea. Steve, you've got this wonderful location on the beach. It's set up to be a business. It used to be a sushi restaurant, and it would make a great coffee shop. Steve, you should sell coffee and sandwiches. Then you can afford health insurance.
I can just see you with an apron.
Yeah.
Say, excuse me, sir, what would you like today?
Listen, I have a theater degree. I have waited tables. I have bussed tables. I have washed dishes, because that's what you're qualified to do with a theater degree. I've worked food service at many levels, from white gloves and white jackets down to behind the slop line in a literal soup kitchen, serving food in a soup kitchen. I could have a coffee shop, but A, I'm retired. I don't want to work. B, my visa won't allow me to do any work. And C, I don't want to. I'm retired. So I really appreciate these guys coming, and it's a wonderful idea, but it's an idea that presents itself the moment you see the place. It's not an idea for me. It's an idea for somebody else. It's not for Chamnan. Chamnan would be the likely, he's there twice a day. He's already getting the money out of the tip jar. He keeps the place, he repaired the roof. In a storm, he was on the roof, repairing the roof in a monsoon storm. He would be the one to open a business there, but he, never went past the 3rd grade in school. He struggles to read, and he's a country boy. The bank would not give him any kind of loan, and the Chamber of Commerce, the Lions Club, they wouldn't have anything to do with Chamnan, because it's Thailand, and he's Ban Nok. He's from behind the mountain. He's a country boy, so there's really nobody to execute this plan. And I do appreciate you guys coming and sharing this plan with me, but it's not doable right now, and I don't think it'll ever be doable, but I do thank you.
You've just about taken up the entire place, though, with sets and turtles, and there's just no room for a coffee shop. In fact, you were talking a few months ago, I need a larger place.
Yeah.
I need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I store art materials in my bedroom, and there's a path from the door to the hard pallet that I sleep on, and the rest of the room is full of sheet plywood and styrofoam and boxes of glue and solvents and screws and nails and bolts, and it's not set up to sell coffee. I have thought to just give away coffee from 5 to 7 a.m. because I get up at 4:30. I still get up at 4:30 in the morning. My body thinks we got to go to work. Still thinks after all these years I got to get up and go to work. So I still get up at 4:30 every morning. And when I was living on Turtle Beach in the bungalows, I'd get up at 4:30 wanting coffee. And of course, in a Bandok bungalow, they don't have a coffee service. They don't have a hot water maker and some Nescafe. Because Thais stay there, and Thais don't drink that.
With ice cubes, maybe.
With ice cubes, yeah, in a plastic cup with a plastic straw. But at any rate, I thought, geez, if you were given, there must be other tourists who are jet lagged, who are up at 5 o'clock in the morning and want coffee. And I have thought to just put a sign out there, free coffee, 5 to 7 a.m. Just come and talk to me. Share an hour with Steve and watch the sun come up.
Please come and talk to me.
Play with me. I have no friends. But at any rate, I'd have to stop at 7 a.m. because the other coffee shops on the beach are selling coffee at 7 a.m. And I do not want to compete with my neighbors at all. I've worked for 15 months to get these people to like me. I'm not going to give away free coffee when the guy down the block is selling his for 80 baht.
Do you know, there's another great use of your property. That's to live in and enjoy the view.
Yes, thank you. And that's how I use it every day.
Sure. So, look, it's great. It's fantastic that people go to the trouble to track you down. And I'm sure a lot of other people come up with lots of ideas. But if you were going to open a coffee shop in Tai Muang somewhere, you'd probably do it in the town rather than along the beach, because the beach, it's pretty slow.
Certainly this time of year. The beach, nobody wants to be on the beach this time of year. But yes, the only, what I would call successful coffee shop in town is the Makai, where we were
last week
ago. And he does tremendous business, but that's not location dependent. He does that because of the way the place looks and the way the staff are and the 6 selfie corners where you can take photos. And I think if you had that on the beach, you might do okay, but you're fighting the weather 6 months out of the year. It's really not pleasant.
It's pleasant to hang around.
It is. If I enjoy it every single day. I don't care if the wind's blowing and the rain's falling.
Same.
I enjoy that place every single day. And if you're the kind of person who's going to be happy just in a lovely place with lovely people, then it's the place for you. If you need action, if you need a thrill, if you need commotion and jet ski and parasailing,
don't come.
And a mall and a movie theater and a place that sells clothes in your size, then or Falang food. If you want Falang food, you're kind of SOL. But if you're the kind of person like me who can be happy in a lovely place with lovely people, then it's cheap.
Certainly, the Turtle Beach is not a great beach to swim this time of the year.
And may I what do they call it in a meeting when you
interject?
Interject.
Take a tangent.
Or can I
digress.
jump off from there? So I got into it this week, and it's all my fault. I got into it with a Thai vlogger from Phuket, who posted a video where he said he came to Tai Muang and spent 2 months there on my beach, and Tai Muang is this and this and this and this, and he got it all wrong. And so
name names?
No, I don't want to name the guy because Steve, after 15 months on Turtle Beach, has calmed down, and after 2 brusque exchanges, now I realize I'm being a bitch. And I apologized to the guy, and I took off those comments, and I said, look, and this is why I bring this up. I invited the guy to come back on my dime. I'll pay for a room at our lovely little boutique hotel. I'll buy him a couple meals. I'll take him to the places that are really in Tai Muang, because most of what he was talking about was Khao Lak. He wasn't talking about Tai Muang. He was saying he was shooting pool and picking up hookers in a pool hall. A pool does not exist. Snooker does not exist on Turtle Beach. Hookers do not exist on Turtle Beach, at least not for Falang. There's no Falang sex industry on Turtle Beach. And he's talking...
hang on. This is all new to me.
Oh, dude, I tried to warn you.
Okay.
But at any rate, I said to him, come, be my guest. Let me show you what's really here, because there is some neat stuff really here. And he said, okay, thank you for your apology. I think he was surprised because my reputation is probably not that Steve apologizes when he's wrong, but I'm changing. This place is changing me. Turtle Beach is changing me. And he said when he gets time, sometime in the future, he'll come back. I would like to open that invitation to any vlogger, any Falang who's vlogging, because Thai vloggers don't need me, but any Falang who's vlogging and you want to come to Turtle Beach and shoot a video there, let me be your guide. Let me be your location scout, your prop man, your craft services. Let me show you Turtle Beach, okay? And you can actually, create a truthful document of the place that I call home and the place that I love to the core of my being. And you won't have to witness me having a meltdown in your comment section and being rude to you. Well, so if anybody's watching who's a vlogger out there and you want to come to Turtle Beach, I'll buy you a night in a hotel, the boutique hotel, it's lovely. Or you can camp in the national park on the beach or whatever you want, I'll pay for it. But this way you will get something you can be proud of and I can live with.
On my Airbnb, it says things to do in Turtle Beach. And one of them was, make sure you go and see Steve Ross at his new coffee shop, and particularly between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. And
and number 2 was C number 1, and there was no number 3.
That's right.
Because there's nothing to do there, guys.
No, that's not quite right. There's the national park.
Yes, there's a ton of stuff to do.
Yes, there is. Did you know whitewater rafting? It's about a 50-minute drive from Tai Muang.
Yeah, I think
there's whitewater rafting.
The Khao Lam Pi National Forest is where you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's Khao Sok as well, which Khao Sok has had, tree houses, people living in tree houses for 50 years.
Rafting on the lake.
Half an hour drive. You got Khao Lak, the beaches at Khao Lak, and Khao Lak does have pool and hookers and music and other Falang, which you will not find on Turtle Beach.
And you've also got the golf course.
Yes, we have the Aquella Golf Course. The Aquella Golf Course. There's stuff to do there, but you have to know the territory.
Yes.
And so, if you want to come, let me show you the territory.
Not in your face.
No, you have to look for it.
So you're going to tell me the name of the person after the show?
Sure, after the show.
Okay.
Yes, after the show.
If you had a pen, you could write it down and show me. But you do have a pen. Just write it down for me.
After the show.
All right.
Because as far as I don't know the guy at all, but as far as I can tell, he's a pleasant enough person, and he's enjoying making his channel. He has a lot of enthusiasm, and he has a lot of fun making his channel. He just got some facts wrong, and that, if you know Steve Ross at all, that. It's almost like he misused a semicolon. I mean, I got that upset.
Oh my God.
I know, right? Right? People burn in hell for misusing a semicolon.
Don't watch my channel then. By the way, people, during the week we've been asking people what are these strange objects washing up on Panga and Phuket beaches. It looks like it's parts of a plane.
Yeah.
But the latest part was obviously probably the front of the plane, the nose cone, was buried in the sand, and everybody's saying, oh, that's obviously R2-D2. And other people were saying, maybe it's something that Steve Ross has left. So you become part of the local lexicon.
Steve Ross tried to pick it up and take it home, and he couldn't carry it.
Well, these things, I mean, they're great big bits of a plane.
And they're metal. They should sink. It's amazing the power of the surf. It is dragging big hundreds of pounds of metal up from the bottom of the ocean, dragging it all the way to the shore and pushing it up above the high tide mark. It's powerful stuff, water.
Sure.
Man.
I was just surprised that nobody seems to actually have been able to nail what it is. So
there's just so many planes falling out of the sky over the Indian Ocean. We don't know which nose cone this is.
And of course, a lot of people suggesting the Malaysian Airlines plane.
That'd be a long way to come.
Yeah, well, nobody really knows where that is, but it's probably not anywhere close around Phuket and the Andaman Sea. They know that it flew over this area, but it did travel then down into the Southern Ocean off Australia, it seems.
And into history.
Yeah, that was such a big modern piece of engineering, just vanishing.
Full of hundreds of people.
Sure.
And among those people were very, very wealthy people who paid private investigators and all kinds of insurance investigators to try to find their missing loved ones. And nobody has ever been able to come up with anything.
Yeah.
Not a scrap.
Have you got some topics today? I don't know what the topics are.
Somebody sent us a topic, which I think is a pretty great topic, and we've never brushed on it. The term Greng Jai. Greng Jai.
Greng Jai.
Greng Jai. Jai meaning heart. There are a lot of terms in Thai that include the term for heart, the word for heart, Jai.
I know one, Jai Yen.
Jai Yen, cool heart.
Cool heart.
Kao Jai, to understand. Kao Jai, it enters my heart. Mai Kao Jai, it does not enter my heart. I don't understand. There's a book called Heart Talk by Christopher G. Moore, and he spent some time, I suppose, gathering all of these many terms into a book. But this one, Greng Jai, is really important, particularly if you are an expat trying to make a life in Thailand. And you've got to deal with Thai people. If you've bought those 3 acres of rambutan, you're building the wooden house, you're raising chickens or worms. There's a guy online raising worms in Thailand. I think that's fascinating. If you're doing anything like that, you need to know what Greng Jai is, because you'll be on the receiving end, and then there's an obligation. You are expected to be on the giving end. So Greng Jai means to express obeisance or submission in word, posture, or action.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Please explain. I will explain. So, for instance, if 2 people are talking in Thailand and you need to pass between them, you duck your head, right? That's Greng Jai.
Okay.
Chamdan will not use my bathroom. He's in my house almost all day long, almost every day. When he needs to pee, he goes in the backyard and stands in the backyard and drops trow and pees. Whether it's pouring down rain or blistering sun, he won't use my bathroom. That is Greng Jai.
Can you say it's okay?
Oh, I have.
Please, he still won't.
And he says, cop, 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 and then he goes and pees in the backyard.
Okay.
So there's a million, as I have said before, we Greng Jai with every utterance in Thai. Everything you say in Thai has to express status. So we end if nothing else, we end every sentence with krap or ka. That is Greng Jai. That is obeisance. That is saying, I recognize our relative levels, and you are either equal to me or slightly above me or way above me. Therefore, I'm going to end everything I say with krap or ka. And that way, every single time I open my mouth, I am reinforcing the status of our relationship, that we are on good terms or bad terms. If you don't Greng Jai, it means you're on bad terms. So if you're a Falang and you're trying to do a business here, or even just trying to, like these people who were in here before, and the lady with the van, the tour company van, rolled up, and she's double parked in a crosswalk out there, and the poor Thai lady is saying, come on, let's go. We're blocking traffic here. And these tourists are in here, and they kind of look around and see her and kind of, yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so in her culture, you're pissing in her cornflakes. You're insulting her in public, in the lobby of a popular hotel. You are insulting that woman. You've got to make eye contact. You've got to smile at her, maybe dip your head a little bit and ask, can we spend 5 more minutes here? Please, can you go around the block? Please. It just means being polite, but to a ridiculous extreme by our standards. By their standards, they've grown up with this since the day they came out of the womb. It's perfectly normal and natural, and they don't understand why we can't get it. So, it's really, really important. And I think
trying to get in here somewhere.
Yeah, good luck. Ask them; they'll tell you. You can't get in.
What I know is that there's P-cup and non-cup, and that's another part of this where you have to recognise somebody's seniority or being junior to you.
Yeah.
Everybody these days to me is non-cup because
you're so old.
Well, not
and
so
that's
old,
and it also instead of saying kun cup, you cup. By calling them elder brother or younger brother, elder sister, younger sister, that's Pinong. And you'll hear politicians start every speech with Pinong, Pinong, brothers and sisters, every speech. They start with Pinong, Pinong. These announcements you hear over the loudspeakers in the villages, Pinong, Pinong. That's expressing a degree of intimacy while still recognizing status. Right?
So it must be very difficult for Thai people when people of similar age, they meet up and they don't quite know
Right.
which one's
Yeah.
the older. So that a lot of times people will meet you and they go, "How old are you?"
Yes.
And they just want to establish whether you are a P-cup or non-cup.
Yeah, where do you come from? Where do you live? What did you pay for your watch? What
Yes.
did you pay for that
How
shirt?
much do you make?
How much do you make?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody wants to know what my Social Security payment is, and they don't think it's impolite to ask. In America, you ask a guy, "What do you make for a living?" Yeah, that's a little intrusive in America. Here, no, everybody asks. If you don't want to say, you just lie.
Speaking of that question, in America, it's not impolite, it seems to me from what I've observed, to ask people who you vote for.
These days, yeah.
Because, like in Australia, you wouldn't speak to somebody about that. You wouldn't ask them about their voting intentions unless you sort of got into a barbecue conversation after 3 beers and you went, "Oh, that blah, blah, blah," and you sort of basically declare.
10 years ago, you wouldn't in America either. 10 years ago, you wouldn't ask. In fact, I'll tell you what. Listen, let me tell you a story. So when I got married, here in Phuket, in the Metropole Hotel, which is like 4 blocks that way, my best man was a photographer, an Australian travel photographer named Matthew Burns.
Oh, Matthew!
You know Matthew?
No.
Oh. Well, Matthew lives in Australia now, but Matthew and I did a bunch of stories together. We worked for Phuket Magazine together, and we sold stories to in-flight magazines and newspaper syndicates in Australia. He'd provide the images, I'd provide the words. It was a great team. We traveled all over together. We did all kinds of stuff together, including my bachelor party, which was a bachelor party with 2 guests, me and Matthew. And yeah, there's some stories there. I won't tell them now. But anyway, so I hung out with Matthew for probably 6-7 years, 30 years ago on Phuket. Didn't know anything about his politics because he didn't ask. Nobody cared. You know, he voted in Australia, I voted in America. We wouldn't recognize the names of each other's politicians. 30 years ago, we never talked about it. 30 years later, meet the guy on Facebook, right? You know how we do now. We find all our old friends on Facebook.
Yes.
Turns out Matthew and I are bipolar, opposite ends of a spectrum, with liberal at one end and conservative at the other end. And we're both very strident about our ideals. And it was hard for us to reconnect at first. And what we had to do was go back to that old model where you just don't talk about it. You don't ask, right? And I don't post political crap, and he does. I don't respond to it. But we're great. We're old friends. We're buddies. He was the best man at my wedding, and we can remain that as long as we don't talk politics.
What confuses it a bit with an Australian person is the Conservative Party in Australia is called
the Labor Party.
No, the Liberal Party.
Oh, the Liberal.
So they're the Conservative Party is the Liberal Party, and the Labor Party is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys can't do anything right. I swear to God.
So
I've learned something today.
The Labor Party sort of grew out of the sort of the Labor movement, and that's pretty much been like that all the way through my life. Okay, next topic.
Well, I just want to throw this out here. So
Okay.
I'm doing my weekend millionaire thing in Phuket. 3 days.
Yeah. Smell the smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, I quit smoking for 27 days, and my eustachian tube cleared right up. Haven't had a problem with it. I come down here and use this weekend.
That's why I'm sitting on this side, so I can get to the good side.
Yeah. I took it as an excuse to start smoking. In 48 hours, I've smoked 4 packs of cigarettes.
Oh, shit.
And immediately, click, plugged up. Immediately. But one thing I noticed is I broke my little glass pipe that I use for broccoli. And so I needed to buy another one, a little travel tool, right? And so I looked on my phone this morning. I left the hotel and I looked on my phone, tell me where the broccoli stores are. And okay, little red dots here and here. So I walk and I walk and I walk. I visited 12 of these little red dots on Google Maps in Old Town Phuket. 8 were closed. Of those 8, 4 were shuttered and vacant. 4 still had furniture and stuff inside, but their doors were closed and locked at 10:30 in the morning. I think what we're seeing, if anybody's interested in this, I'm intensely interested in it. If anybody else is interested in the broccoli situation, I think we're seeing the market start to
Level out.
self-correct. Yeah, I think prices will be next. Right now it's number of outlets. I think quality and prices are next, and quality will come last because they got to sell all the bad broccoli before they get the good broccoli. But at any rate, that was just an observation about Phuket. And another observation.
Oh, I'm coming back to the smoking. Don't you worry about that.
All right, don't remind him if he forgets. This is live, right? We're streaming this?
Oh, absolutely.
The other thing I noticed here in Phuket, there's so many Falang.
Foreigners.
Foreigners, white foreigners. Yeah, Chinese are not Falang.
Not racist at all.
Africans are not Falang. White foreigners are Falang. And on Turtle Beach, there's I think a dozen of us that live on the beach. And most of them never leave their homes. Most of them are in their 70s or 80s, and they stay home in air conditioning and watch TV all day. But if I meet another Falang on the street in Thai Muang, you make eye contact. You smile. You say good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you stop and say, dude, where are you from? Do you speak English? Where are you from? You visiting? You living here? It's another white face. I can go a week, easy, without hearing English spoken or seeing a white face. I come down here and I see a white guy on the sidewalk. I make eye contact. I smile at him, right? Hey, dude, where are you from? Well, and he looks at me like I'm insane. Yeah, he looks at me like I'm insane. And then 5 feet behind him's another white guy. 5 feet behind him's another white guy.
Of course.
And they don't acknowledge each other. It's not a big deal. To me, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right, smoking.
So when you arrived in Phuket, you thought, okay, I'm here for my 2 or 3 days of ecstasy, and you got out that first fag, you took a suck on it. What did you think? Did you think, oh my God, I'm pathetically weak and I should flagellate myself? Or did you think, that's the best suck on a fag I've ever had in my life?
Every American watching this right now is rolling in the aisle.
It
means cigarette.
It means cigarette in sort of
in
Australian
America,
language.
yeah.
I know, it means homosexual man.
No, I got off the bus and I got a tuk-tuk. The tuk-tuk driver knows me at the Bokosol Nung, and because I come every month and there's the same tuk-tuk guy sitting there, and he says, "Rongram Malika, chamai." I say, yeah. So he takes me there, and I said, "Dude, stop on I think it's Tanong Kra. Stop at the 7. I need to buy cigarettes." And I bought my first pack of cigarettes in 27 days. And took it to the hotel. First thing I did in the hotel, go out on the balcony and blaze one up. And oh my God, every cell in my body rejoiced. I probably smoked 3 in a row. It was so good. Oh my God. And then my ear went click and I started to and I realized why. I'm only going to do this for 3 days. And when I go back to Thai Muang, I will be very happy, I think, to quit again for 27 more days.
Gee, will you though?
I don't know. Let's find out. We will take this journey together.
No, I'm not even slightly interested.
And just to throw that out, there is some, my visa expires in October 4th. And my former visa agent and other visa agents have told me that in 15 months things have changed. And it is unlikely that I will be able to receive a visa the way I received the last one. So I'm likely going to have to leave the country before October 4th and come back in and then have 60 days then, I think, 60, 75 to
60 days, 30 plus 30.
30 plus 30, have 60 days to sort things out.
Yeah.
So likely, and listen, and Cambodia I think is the cheapest ticket from here. Malaysia is probably the cheapest ticket, but I don't want to go to Malaysia.
Oh yeah, you can get flights direct from here to
Iowa City, Iowa?
Siem Reap.
Oh.
Also, you can get fly direct from here to Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay.
There's another option.
Well, I know thank you for that. I know people in Cambodia. I will likely go there first.
Okay.
If I do end up having, which I think I'm out of options. I think I'm going to have to leave the country and come back in if they'll let me do that. And
I was going to say, I think by the time you leave, I think for October the 1st, they're going to announce some changes to the visas, to the tourist visas, and not only allow Chinese and Indian people to arrive visa-free, so they don't have to get a visa on arrival, but they're also looking to extend the visa from 30 days to, we're assuming, either 45 or it could be 90 days.
oh,
So, things might be changing. I will keep you informed.
Yeah, if
You'll
pigs,
find out.
If pigs had wings, they could fly. If we had enough loaves and fishes, we could feed the world. That would be great. Again, I had 25 years to plan coming here and living here, and it never occurred to me that they would have changed the visa laws. It used to be until I got a work permit in the old days, everybody did that. You'd see the same guys on the plane going to Penang every 3 months, and you'd go do a turnaround, buy some duty-free liquor, and come back.
That was me. I used to fly to Penang every 3 months.
And 15 months ago, I thought that's what I would be doing because I was stupid 15 months ago and I couldn't be bothered. I was reading books about Thailand written in 1889, but I couldn't be bothered to go Google what are the visa requirements today in Thailand. So
1889.
1889. Oh, what was his
1989.
name? No. Father. All the missionaries.
Okay.
Oh, there's some great books written by missionaries.
Right.
Oh, if you want a good book, if I can do a book recommendation real quick, Edna Brunner Bulke opened the first Western hospital in southern Thailand, in Trang, in 1904, and she wrote a beautiful memoir called Siam Was Our Home. She had 6 children in Trang and raised them all in Trang, she and her doctor husband, who she didn't like very much, but missionaries used to marry for other reasons than love. And
So she was in Trang?
Trang, yeah.
She had a missionary position.
Yes, it was a mission hospital.
Oh, okay.
In Trang.
Right.
And but she stayed there and ended up, when she was in her 70s, she owned a hotel in Chiang Mai. And at the age of 73, the last thing in the book, she took a bus trip from Chiang Rai through the Shan states all by herself at 72, 73 years old.
Myanmar.
In Myanmar. Yeah.
Whoa.
And this would have been probably 59, 60, 61, because she left in 64, went back to America, and eventually died. But it's called Siam Was Our Home, and it's a beautiful, heartfelt, unschooled, absolutely honest and sweet and beautiful memoir of a Thailand that has not existed for, 100 years.
If you wait another 12 months, it'll be on Netflix.
It might be. Everything's on Netflix now.
How you
they
enjoying,
love Thailand now. Boy, don't they?
Sure.
Gee, since the cave.
How you liking One Piece?
I finished it and I liked it very much.
How many episodes did they make?
6.
Oh, only
just
6?
Just 6.
Do you think they'll make them some more?
I don't know. It depends on who watches. I think, though, they've got a good chance because the cast is very engaging. The scripts follow the manga. They don't follow the anime, but they follow the manga, so the scripts make sense. And you know your protagonist's motives and the antagonist's motives. And it's funny, and it's sexy, and it's violent, and it's... again, I have a soft spot for anime because as a divorced father, blah, 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 you've heard this before, my son and I watched a lot of anime, and One Piece was something that I enjoyed back in the day. And so if you enjoy anime, and they're doing now live action of all these anime, and I think they did it pretty well, much better than the Cowboy Bebop that they did, which I think it was just lackluster and dull.
Missed that one.
Yeah, it's okay. If you hadn't watched the anime, it wouldn't make sense. But that one was a disappointment. And One Piece was watchable, and there's very little to watch, I think, on Netflix right now. And I don't have any other streaming services.
I've watched all the hotel makeover shows 10 times.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Got some good ideas from them, though.
Yeah.
Are you? Do you sort of, when it comes to the end of the month, think, oh, am I going to do my Netflix subscription next month? I also think, oh, maybe I've seen it all. There's only like 1 or 2 new things each month, but we keep it going.
My mother and my son share my accounts.
I see.
We're getting 3 viewers.
I see. Shh.
Don't tell the internet.
No.
But yeah, that I keep it for that reason. And every now and then a Tiger King comes along, and they're going to do the second Squid Game. And I thought Squid Game, oh my God, blew me away. What was the other one? The Korean movie that won the Academy Award?
Starts with a P.
Parasite. Oh my God, that was good.
Yes.
Every now and then something watchable comes up. And I watch a lot of Thai movies. If you want to practice your Thai, watch Thai movies with the captions, the subtitles. They're funny, they're sexy, they're scary, because they, in Asia, they just mix all the genres. So you'll have comedy, action, adventure, pathos, horror, everything mixed in there. Fart jokes next to an old lady's last words. It's a melange, it's an olio. And so if you want to practice your Thai, there's one right now that's got Joe Cummings in it, called Inhuman Kiss, and it's a vampire movie, or a Pikachu. But Joe Cummings used to write the Lonely Planet Guide, and there's never been a Falang more keyed in to this country than Joe. And he does music, he plays in bands, but this is him acting, and you don't get to see old Joe acting very much. And another guy, Paul Spurrier, who has a restaurant in Bangkok called the Green Room? No, Freeze Green Club, the Freeze Green Club, where they screen movies. They screen classic movies every night. You can have food and alcohol and watch on a big screen. And it's all decorated with legit film memorabilia.
That'd be a great idea for your house in Thailand.
Film?
You could have film nights in your lounge area.
It's certainly big enough, yeah.
Sure.
I could buy 20 chairs.
I've got all these ideas for your place.
Yeah, then I could afford health insurance.
Nobody would have thought of any of them, I'm sure.
But Paul has been in show, but he was a child actor. And he's not a child any longer. I won't speculate on his age. But he's a villain. And he chews the scenery. He's great in it. He's just great in it.
Do you know
so it's called The Inhuman Kiss on Netflix.
Hundreds of people have walked past, and not one of them has said, "Oh, there's Steve Ross."
No.
Or Tim Newton.
Yeah.
Not one.
No.
Not a sausage.
Our fame has yet to reach Beijing, I think.
Yes, I think. A lot of Chinese tourists.
Yeah.
I think these are mostly Chinese.
Yes.
Very well
mostly.
dressed.
Yeah.
Mostly polite, except for the one that asked me to move. Okay, so do you have anything else, or are we going to wind it up there?
That's my notes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the bad news is we've come to, maybe the good news, we've come to the end of our podcast from the the Memory at On Hotel in Old Phuket Town, not to be confused with the slightly new Phuket Town, which is everything else around it.
Or the middle-aged and questioning his decisions.
Yes, on the border there. So, we've got nothing better to do than recommend you come through here when you're next coming to Phuket.
The sandwich was very good. We ate before we started shooting. I had a croissant. It was very good. What I say now?
Well,
I know that.
No.
You know that look too, don't you? What I say now?
No, I'm just saying that that sandwich, and I had... because there was only 3 things on the menu.
It ain't cheap.
I had the breakfast yogurt fruit thing, which was very nice.
The muesli and yogurt.
You had in a polystyrene thing, it was a ham and cheese croissant. You had a lemon soda. I had just a bottle of plain soda, 9 baht at 7-Eleven. 545 baht. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it ain't cheap.
And guess who had to pay for it?
Who's surprised? Show of hands.
So thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Tim, very much. I love this. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Now,
I very much enjoy this.
We didn't mention earlier, and I will put something at the front of the program. Steve Ross has a YouTube channel. Now, at your own risk, I would recommend that you go and have a look at it. And it's Steve Ross with an E. Don't get it confused with the other Steve Ross, who, basically his YouTube channel is just not worth watching.
Well, there's a lot of Steve Rosses without an E. There's one other Steve Ross, R-O-S-S-E. He's the world's most famous tuba player. Honest to God, he's huge in brass.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
Yes, he's big in the world of brass instruments. He's a very clever, funny guy. But he plays in the Opera House in Sydney. He is the first chair tuba in the Sydney Opera House, and it's Steve Ross with an E. He probably pronounces it Rosse or something. But he is the world's most famous tuba player. So if you look for my channel and you see a guy on
With
a
a tuba?
on a unicycle with a tuba, playing a tuba, that's not me.
No.
I wish I could do that.
You got it wrong.
If I could play a tuba on a unicycle, I would do that every week on my channel.
I haven't
but
checked out
cannot.
if there's any other Tim Newtons doing news in Thailand. I don't
That's
think there are.
interesting.
Anyway, thanks everybody.
I got to find a bathroom. Let's wrap this up.
Subscribe to. I think we'll go into another topic, Steve. Let's just drag this out a little bit. Thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe to my channel. You can check Steve out on his channel, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. I love you guys. See you next week.